Phoenix's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Phoenix's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Enchantress.
Phoenix's turn to pick.
Witch Doctor! Bat Rider!
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Welcome back. Game number 2 here in this best of 5. MVP Phoenix against Fnatic for the Southeast Asian Qualifiers Grand Final. ESL One Frankfurt 2016. I am Gareth in the JD Studios, coming straight to you from Berlin. And the draft is already quickly getting underway. They're speeding through scans. They've decided what they want to ban, what they want to pick, and it's a little bit different from last time. Fnatic still get their hands on the Enchantress, but MVP banned out the Invoker this time around.
Yeah, and they take themselves the bats, not wanting to give Ohio that bat right again, wanting to be the ones who get advantage. Still take the Witch Doctor, which I think was probably the most valuable hero to their team in parts of the game where things were going well. I don't know, maybe you can make an argument for the slot up.
Phoenix's turn to ban.
Enchantress, I mean, DJ's gonna have it again, and MVP are gonna need to go into the early game with a plan for how they want to deal with Enchantress this game. Last game it seemed like they picked Witch Doctor and they felt like that was just enough. We have a Witch Doctor, we'll deal with Enchantress. And even though the Witch Doctor did a lot when they were well for them, I feel like the Enchantress's impact in the early game was much higher. Even from level 1 before the creep spawn, just like bullying both supports alone. So, you know, maybe that goes down to the fact they pick a Phantom Assassin. They have a Witch Doctor and a Lion and like a stronger, more present safe lane carry in that situation. The Enchantress maybe can't bully them as much going into the lane. So it could just be that that's the change MVP make this game, that they have a carry hero in the safe lane that's less susceptible to being like so completely shut down when the Enchantress rotates into its lane.
I'm wondering about this Venomancer ban. Once in Southeast Asia from ESL Arena. So,
yeah.
They fifth picked it, and it seemed to be like against the lone druid in particular, but it also kind of rounded out their draft nicely with the damage. Is there anything to know about Venomancer for P?
No, really. I think you're right. It's particularly good against lone druid, especially if you combine it with like a Ursa or something destroyed. Yeah, like OD is a hero that doesn't want to be venomous scaled, like very annoying for you. You need to be able to move around, blink around, but I don't think that's, I mean, it still seems a bit peculiar. I guess the teams know something about each other that we don't. I mean, also the fact that MVP is banning Doom first phase every game, where from my experience watching these teams recently, they're the one that plays the hero more than Fnatic. I know Fnatic do play it, but it's just curious to me, especially because I don't know, I feel like MVP should know that Fnatic's going to first pick Enchantress. So do you think they're going to go Enchantress and Doom? Is that why you're banning Doom each time? Or do you think that they'd pick the Doom ahead of the Enchantress in a similar role? What I've seen, Fnatic has been favoring the Enchantress.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about this, like Doom first phase ban. It's an interesting. Ask some of the players later on exactly what's happening. We should have asked Fnatic the other day against TNA. That was a little more obvious. In this series, it's sure. Third pick here for Fnatic. Go for 343's favorite heroes, Vengeful Hero and Oracle, both directly banned up against him. Of course, also because MVP have the Batrider. You know that 343 is spectacular on those two heroes, but you also don't want the swap and fall. Batrider lasso every time he jumps in onto someone. Beastmaster for Ohio now, so no lone druid. And I don't think Nets plays safe lane lone druid, so we're still looking for something, you know, like your Sven, your Juggernaut, your Gyrocopter for him. Have all been left open
Blitzer for nets, and MVP on the other hand, I actually think this team looks best when they have Spectre. I think it's like best carry for them to play around. They do really well with it. Both Q and MP played very well, and very good at using the horns multiple times in a fight to like jump from one place to another and move by it very quickly. Interesting that the Nature's Prophet is open. I suppose it's because they picked the Bat so early that Fnatic are like, well, whatever, you know, you're not going to pick Nature's Prophet and Bats. It is possible. There are teams, you know, or Alliance that loves to pick Nature's Prophet with Bats. I don't know if MVP's the kind of team that would do that.
Could if they wanted to. Feels more like they're going to aim towards their support hero at this point. Give something over to Febby. A Lion for them. Abel's good at dealing with the Beastmaster, both Lion and Witch Doctor. They had this airing in game number 1. Strengths of it. Cask causes disruption, keeps yours alive. Lion gives you that burst damage to kill off side, and of course there's no Juggernaut here. OD susceptible chain stun off by that Lion plus a Spectral Haunt in. They're just building this up so there's 4 heroes that can go in battle early on. The Witch Doctor, the Lion +1 go roaming around as 4 and alleviate the pressure a little bit from the safe lane to allow her to farm a little bit more, but also to create battles. Fnatic, the Gyro's there for net. A lot of early game pressure and vision, and lanes look so good for them. Master gives the Hawk, going to have to be a little bit wary about that bottom lane and maybe Iron Tangle jungle a little bit, Ohio. For DJ, control mid, he can give OD a good lane while one support for Gyro up at top. Batrider nicely.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I exactly agree. The lane presence from Fnatic's dropped is hands. They haven't even picked their like genuine lane support yet, but cores are just so good at controlling lanes on their own. The Enchantress can help any lane that it wants to. There's a lot of room for Fnatic. What they want to do. The Disruptor gets banned now, so MVP have used all 3 bans on heroes that can sort of counter the Bat initiation. The Disruptor is not as effective because the Glimpse takes a while. Sometimes these pull do a bit, but interesting. I don't know if Fnatic will necessarily feel that they, in a sense, the OD already does that, right? Unless you're going on the OD's got the Astral, defensive Astral, which can sort of counteract the Bat initiation. For me, something that's Fnatic might look to here is a support that's got spammable spells, because you have that OD aura, and currently they don't have any kind of like healer synergy with it, which is something that's maybe overlooked sometimes with OD drafts, that you can abuse that if you're going to group up and push. Like you get a hero like Dazzle, you've just got infinite shadow waves, you can just heal forever.
Or the other side of the coin, Alina, where you've got infinite damage pretty much.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Back for Wind Ranger, so you're not going to have any trouble scaling in this game if the early and mid games contested well for them with the Wind Ranger and the Spectre put together. Well, Fnatic is still that lane support, and it's going to be against the Batrider, so you know, maybe that's also another consideration. Never mind the Bat initiations later. Who wants a hero that's going to be able to zone the Bats in the lane? Gyro can help, but you know, your Gyro doesn't want to have to be coming towards the bat all the time, wants to be able to farm, so if you pick a support that can't deal with the Bat 1v1, that means then the Gyro has to be much more actively involved in control.
It's really cool for me, like the way my brain is looking at this. If this was a European game between like 2 CIS teams, I would suggest Ogre for Fnatic to just go and punch full hand with the Bloodlust for your OD and stuff like that. I would be looking at MVP thinking Batrider is going to be mid against the OD. Because these are 2 very different teams with their own kind of defined role attribution across their players, quite obvious where they're going to throw these heroes, but it's nice just seeing the stark contrast between Southeast Asian and European Dota in how drafts are constructed around players and around teams. Fnatic and MVP. But I think it's going to be, like in Europe, this could be potentially still an offlane. Oh, it is an Ogre. Damn.
It's an Ogre.
Nice.
An Ogre, so you got to trust your instincts.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because I'm looking at this and thinking Fnatic don't play Ogre. 343 doesn't play Ogre, but apparently he's going to play Ogre.
I mean, I don't. Fnatic isn't a team that's picked a lot of Ogre historically, but we don't know. I don't know. Do you know if 343 ever played it when he was playing in Terrain?
Well, maybe that's what triggered my memory. Maybe he did.
Because I didn't follow that team very closely. And the other thing also is that 343 is just an excellent drafter. He's just like a really fantastic drafter, maybe the best drafter that the scene has had in a while. Like I'm a big fan of AU's drafts for TNC, but I've really been impressed by 343's drafting since he joined this team. I think it's made them look
10
absolutely
seconds
on form. And one aspect of a brilliant
5
draft is that you
seconds
see the best pick. It's like it's not necessarily something you've done, something that you usually do. You see the best pick, and then the conversation becomes, well, do we think we can pull it off? And it seems like they've decided they can pull it off. Regardless, I mean, whether or not he's comfortable with it, we both kind of agreed it was the appropriate pick.
I'm gonna go into a little more detail. Like, what does Ogre bring you here that no other support does? Just that he's tanky.
Yeah, so the tankiness is very important both for the lane stage and facing against the Batrider being able to trade blows, but it's also for later on that expect to get farmed. It's a support that doesn't just automatically die. And then there's the Bloodlust, and there's the spell spam. We're talking about the abusing the OD aura. Well, Ogre Magi has lots of spells to spam once you grouped up later on, and when it is the situation where like, oh, he runs out of mana, that's the issue, and if he doesn't, because he's tanky, he's not being focused out early on in the fight, and because of the OD aura, he's just throwing out all these multi-casted spells. So I think it has lots of different synergies with the draft here, actually.
Duo is going to be over on this win range of mid. Since we've seen this, against the OD is going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, you've got the Wind Run to try and dodge ganks from the Enchantress. You've got Power Shot to clear out Creep Wave and control Equilibrium as you want it to. This top rune spot here and find the boar as well. With the cask out, they'll secure it.
The battle begins.
Oh, takes down there. DJ runs in, Earthspike is out. QO gets the bounty rune. Mid one. Gonna walk into this. Ohio's gonna battle through onto QO, but the Windrunner's there. Mid one running himself back out of the body block from Ohio. Not gonna be good enough. The Fairy Fire's out, but Mid one, the miss uphill. He's kept himself alive, but not for too long. They'll clear him. An MVP, they get top bounty rune and Witch Doctor. Dubu. Self. First blood kill as well. That's the start for your OD. Already behind in experience, already behind in lane control. Try and fight under his own tier 1 tower here. Hero shoves it back into him.
You know what? I think DJ would have said to them, Doctor already used Cask, we can test the rune. Funny thing is that I think the reason they can't is because the boar is dead. it's like difficult to see it that way, but it's like the boar is just as important to your rune contesting as the Witch Doctor's Cask is. Up that board was just too easy for MVP to still just fight them off the rune.
4-3 is trying to bully into this Batrider a bit, but he can't get close to the sticky napalms from Forever. Hey. Enchantress making a long kind of walk of shame up towards top. Northwing is already down, throwing a tornado out and giving Ohio maybe a little bit of an easier time. Will does have to contest though with Bebby and Dubu here with their stuns and disables, pulling him up. Prospects until D comes back in with another creep. Getting free farm up here, securing a safe lane. Bebby and Dubu have done a pretty damn good job of that, and DJ wants to try and settle them a little bit. Upset this top lane and throw the creep in towards MP, which he does damn good success, and also force the creep wave under the tower, so it's more difficult for MP to last hit here. Even impossible for him to do so. The Centaur wraps in from behind. That stomp and a couple of hits in. He's not having such a great time, but there is turnaround potential here. The Hawk gives vision of Bebby's Lion. Maybe not so great as MP find the creeps a little bit, but good restoration to keep him happy.
I really like this from DJ. Like, I was gonna say he didn't find the Satyr, so it's like the unfortunate thing about Enchantress and Chen is that, like, you find a Satyr, you don't find a Satyr, it affects the early game a lot. If you visit, they probably just win the lane right there. But he's like, fine, I have one of the weaker early game creeps, I'm still gonna just use the fact that it's got the sheer amount of HP and run at the tower and harass and get under their skin. I think that's good. I think that there's sometimes see an Enchantress or Chen player going, okay, I didn't have the right creep, I'm just gonna AFK and farm until I find it. But DJ sort of looks for opportunity to give early you can, and he's actually got a Banisher now for the Purge. This could make for creative play.
Man.
Coming back.
Guns back on the kill boar as well in Ohio. This slows him. DJ. And you're right, with a little Banisher, maybe looks to purge up Bebby here and make a go of it, but who's the one that's purged up? Still damage from Fnatic to actually kill anyone off towards this lane, while mid Astrals keep coming out of the OD. Annoying QO a touch. 13 for 3 against 13 for 2, and his Outlaw Devourer, he's still CSing very well after the disastrous start he had. The Banisher dies, but you put so much like emphasis on killing that little thing off. See gold, a bit of experience, but he's already purged you up a couple of times, dealt you a ton of damage, and Enchantress right clicking back into you. DJ still needs his levels. Going back for a nice little Hellbear Smasher here. Alright, flying across with a Firefly, which I don't see on my screen. Stop. Go in for this kill. 4-1 untouchable. It's not that great at the beginning of the game, and DJ slowed down with his sticky napalm. Can't turn, and with the Hex, he tries to Hellbear smash back onto the back right of the power shot's not going to land. The final right clicks coming out of MVP here. They just need the Wind Ranger to make her way across, but here comes the Wind Run. QO stunned up, DJ still alive. One more right click up the high ground is all they need, and they'll get it. The dagger will secure the kill, and QO finds the regen route. 3-4-3. Might be in a touch of trouble here, but the Shackle will not latch to the back. Catch him. Astral saved him for now, but that's a secured kill over on the Ogre if I've ever seen one. QO can just punch him once, take him down, and a 4-man movement here from MVP secures themselves 2 individual kills.
Such good recognition there, actually, from MVP, that's the play they can make. Because firstly, the dynamic on the map in the early game in a few lanes is not going right for them. The Enchantress has got too much free reign in their jungle. You don't want that to happen. It's able to harass the safe lane too much. The Bat was struggling in the off lane a bit more than the Beastmaster was. So just come off that lane and rather help your team being involved, and they make the appropriate rotation, and they really get a lot more value than they were getting by static laning the situation.
Oh my god, you guys in chat, not everyone can be called Jeff, okay? Not everyone could.
They want to call you Jeff?
No, I don't want to be called Jeff, thanks. You want to be called Jeff?
I don't mind. I don't mind being called Jeff.
How would you spell? Have you seen it in chat? Have you seen spam?
No,
How do you spell Jeff? Like, how would you naturally spell Jeff?
This is a trick question because you're probably gonna say it with a J, but I'm gonna say with a G.
See, I say with a G. I would say with a G. Oh dear lord.
Alright.
Pay more attention to the map and see the OG die. OG! G. I'm looking at Net. I'm watching his rotation up towards top because he's going in for MP, but the dagger across the tree line will get him back to safe.
Middle tower is under attack.
Move the 3 of them up here. Ohio's obviously around, but with Gyro and Enchantress landing into this tier 1. 3 heroes mid looking for the tier 1 there.
Dire's top
Really
tower has fallen.
weird musical chairs going on here.
Everyone moving around, dancing around each other. There's Fnatic getting the slight upper hand on the map still. In terms of the last hits of their cores, in terms of the fact that they've taken down a tier 1 very early on in the game. And it's actually, yeah, it's a bizarre thing because normally you just early game you reference the scoreline and be like, oh, MVP are 4-0, so they're probably ahead. But it's to me it's more like if they weren't 4-0, they'd be quite far behind at this point. So it's good that they've gotten those kills so that they can sort of stay kind of even. And they're probably going to look for their Spectre to get level 6 and then move for some small skirmishes or ganks.
This is a big rune for QO. DD, and he's got his focus fire coming back up in a second as well. Get rid of that. Forward up on the high ground. Mid one, he knows a rune is over on the Wind Ranger. So Ohio and Net farming over into the dire jungle here. Limiting the space that MP has to maneuver around. I don't know if MP actually knows that they're still sitting in here with the Roar plus the cooldown available. Could be a kill onto the Spectre if he's not careful. Step towards the creep wave. The line is drawn from Febby and Dubu saying move towards that area. They know Ohio is there. They know that they're farming this jungle. They haven't shown anywhere else on the map. I'm just wondering whether they want to actually move themselves into that region.
Well, they're on their way.
Smoke up, walk past the ball. This ball was meant to give vision here for Ohio to see if VP were contesting, and now with the Spectral Horn forward, Ohio spotted. Net as well, the Shackle shot. Latches on 3 behind the Beastmaster, and with the Roar thrown, maybe be looking for a kill onto MP, but it's not going to happen for them.
It's really good that Ned runs away there. It looked like he considered turning around, cooldowning, and trying to help, and I think he would have gotten himself killed as well. So at least they limit the damage there, Fnatic. Interestingly, Ohio is rushing a Vlad's game on Beastmaster. It's something I have seen once or twice recently. Beastmaster's going for Vlad's before the Necros. I'm not sure, like, is that just... I wonder if in some sense, it seems like it's the group up even earlier build, and in another sense, it seems like it might be the farm jungle build. I'm totally sure which one it is here.
Bro, very close, yeah. That's it. Going. Looked up, but they seem very unsure in which direction to head towards. They want to go loop around into this jungle camp, they want to try and wrap in onto the Bat Rider. Now they've seen Forev actually flash himself on this lane, and Spec obviously is still pulling and hiding back in the jungle. The three-man... It's an aggressive tri-lane mid. Febby, Dubu and QO have been sat mid for the majority of this game, honestly, while Forev is slowed down. That bottom lane, there's no Raw though, and the TP coming through here is from the Wind Ranger, looking for the Shatter back onto Ohio. It's not going to catch onto anything behind him, while Forev Firefly is over the trees and far away. It looks like he's okay. The right click's coming through, not going to be enough while the Ogre dies. The cooldown's good on the QO though, and this Wind Ranger's in a ton of trouble. Rocket Barrage will clear him up, and Net goes to kill.
Well, that'll learn ya.
Dire's bottom tower
Not
is
the
under
kill
attack.
Fnatic were going for, but they'll be even happier with that kill than the Bat kill, especially considering that he'd finished his blink anyway. They wouldn't know that, but as a matter of fact, they weren't going to get that much value out of killing the Bat. They get a lot more value out of killing the Wind Ranger.
Dire's structures are fortified.
What's up with the tri-lane mid? Are you just trying to shut down the OD as much as you possibly can?
I suppose. I don't know. It's very peculiar. Maybe it was just because they wanted to get the tier 1. And they did get the tier 1. So... early tier 1's a blink. There's a blink in from Qualifier.
And the hold forward. Febby wants to try and stun this one up, and he's going to hex Ohio. Master. Looks like he is going to be the one to fall. Ohio pops out a ball with his dying breath to get the double balls out. Time DJ and Net, they have a cooldown and impact damage here. Fires the Forever, there's the cooldown. Net pushed forward, Shackle's on there. Forever blast hooks him up as well, but Net is caught, and now the cast bounces back onto him as well. MVP get the 1 for 2. Meantime, mid one has been farming up in top lane and finally has himself treads.
Radiant's bottom tower
Trade's
is
still very
under
good for
attack.
MVP. They're probably going to get another tier 1 off this. And these are the important tier 1s actually. So Fnatic have killed the offlane tier 1, but MVP are going to have killed both their offlane and their mid tier 1.
This is like
Radiant's bottom tower.
This is like an unmolested Spectre. 104, Earn, Phase, Quelling Blade. No one's really stopped MP from farming too much. He's
Dire's
behind the
middle
Wind
tower
Ranger.
is
Just because
under attack.
QO has had such a spectacular start to this game with the kills and assists he's got. But we've seen Spectres come back from situations where they've gone like 0-4, they've got no farm.
Dire's
Complete
middle
reverse.
tower has fallen.
Down to the MVP really validating what they've got. But now you look at the strength of Fnatic's draft. Bloodlust is up onto the OD, the Raw back up the QO. Thompson's wind run before this has happened, but he's already dead. Doesn't stand a chance of running himself away from this. You've got Bloodlust, you've got Vlad, you've got Auras, you've got everything you could dream of here. Fnatic all of a sudden they burst out with this massive amount of damage and survivability.
And I feel like that's got to be the plan behind rushing Vlads on Beastmaster. It's going for earlier timing. Allows them to fight earlier, push earlier, even take this early rush potentially. MVP can't let them do this. MVP needs to try and do something. I'm not sure what the play is, but maybe it's just the Bat Rider trying to
Lasso in, Forever still stand up though, and he doesn't drag anyone back. He Lasso to pull it all out the wall. Regardless, the Haunt will come through, and MVP, they're trying to fight into this one, but Ohio still standing here. Net with a cooldown, going to land on the Febby's head, and do move on the Shackles, but Lasso going to put the damage up, but Net clears through Febby. The good stun back into Ohio, and this Gyrocopter is not going to be enough just yet, as DJ clears up another. Ohio barely burning through to the urn, but it's still the damage output and the stuns and lockdowns here from Fnatic, keeping everyone from Fnatic, from MVP controlled up, except that Spectre, who chases Gyrocopter down over towards the west, while QO turns the fight, but doesn't stand a freaking chance. DJ's Enchantress just absolutely annihilates them all.
Forever's back, and all of the Enchantress is out of mana, so I think they might get... No,
They
they're gonna
can't
go
chase
back.
the Ogre.
It's an Ogre. He's got all that regen, he's super tanky, and he's out mana. He's fine. MVP are hoping they can finish up the rush now. They really don't have great rush killing heroes, but they know rush is really low, so they're just gonna try and go for it.
That looks
It's a
pretty
big
good.
gambit.
Level 4 Desolate is pretty good against Roshan, and it will secure MVP the Aegis Immortal onto the Spectre. 3-man impale there, mini Ravage out from Febby. MP to escape over the cliffs as well. There's an 800 swing there for Fnatic from just the team fight itself, but I think it's balanced itself out
Radiant's
with
middle
MVP
tower
getting
is
Aegis
under
and
attack.
kill. Of course, still unkilled. 0 of 5. Bronze earn, and what's that? Lasso on bottom lane, hello net, shackle shots there as well, and this gyrocopter completely out of the realms of safety. No one was nearby to keep him there.
He's having the opposite game in some respects to the Spectre. He gets caught out quite a lot early on for Gyrocopter. I think him being caught out. DJ's been caught out a bit here too. This might be dangerous for MVP though.
Oh, Fnatic tried the 2-man stun. He only captures one, and MP's brought up, but he's still got the Aegis Immortal. Turn back and get the shot, and DJ takes down Spectre once. Might be MVP. The Horns looking to fight through this mid one. Oh, there's the damage. Horns forward, jumps the double way, the shackle shot back at the 3-1-3, catches him as well, but MP still dropping low from the other shot to the stun. MP's dead. The clip comes out of mid one just to make sure. And MVP, they thought with the Aegis Immortal they could push forward and play aggressively. It's
A little too much, I think. Lion didn't have ulti, Witch Doctor didn't have the mana for the Death Ward, so the damage output is just lacking on MVP there. And with lacking damage output, this is not a fight that you want to take, I think. I want to go back though to the rush, this is something I've seen MVP do in particular a few times in recent matches. They're really, really good at identifying when it's just not acceptable for the enemy team to get rush, and they'll just. It looks like a situation where they can't contest the rush. They go in, they lose a lot of heroes, they have to like buy back heroes a lot of the time. Very often I see MVP just make commitments that look unreasonable to contesting the rush bit, and then they end up actually succeeding in getting the rush themselves. And it's every time I've seen it, I felt like at the end of it, it's worth it. So I'm a bit more unsure of myself these days when I see MVP contesting a rush, even when it looks like it's not a healthy contest to go for.
We go into this Radiant jungle, but there are orcs. Nasty heroes around as well, and that smoke.
He's got a blink.
Third ward from MVP might pay off here. The Hawk will get revealed. Fnatic, they've got to know that MVP are closing in on this one. The blink the last one, 3-3, but the roll back onto Kilo. He doesn't win run, and then he barely gets it off. Escapes back, the Shackle back onto 2, but he's still taken out. Net will clear him up, the Death will drop to the back end of the fight, but MVP is still trying to battle through this one. Taken out of the game as mid one absolutely destroys him. And MVP, they have walked into the meat grinder here.
But do you see what Febby did? Really confused. He blinked in and he stunned the Enchantress's Centaur. Poorly stunned. I mean, there were like 3 heroes clumped up on each other to the right side of the fight, and to the left side of the fight there was like this creep. And he blinked and he stunned the creep. And I just feel like maybe the fight's quite different if he, lands one of those Ravage Impales on the right-hand side of the fight,
Well, like,
where all those heroes are standing.
well, yeah, like all 3-4 heroes standing in one big clump. That's just the perfect spot for an Impale there.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. So I was looking at him, waiting to call it out, and he literally stunned only a creep. So I think he'll probably have said to his team, "My bad." Like, didn't really. Like he used his finger after that. That's the impact on the fight, not what it needs to be at that stage in the game with that early blink dagger.
Kyo got, oh dear. Kyo with the spectacular start he had, now sitting very low on the net worth chart with all these towers and kills going the way of Fnatic. No Maelstrom yet. Wind Ranger is a hero that you kind of need, especially if you're going for this build, you need to get the Maelstrom relatively quickly, and then you transition Aghanim to BKB, and you just have these snap item purchases after every team fight. Hero has a long way to go. The direction he goes for, while MP, 1400 gold saved up, will be looking for that relic. If not, he'll go for the Yasha first, just to have the kind of incremental build, slowly get into the a little bit slower, more battle build earlier on, but MP's Blink Dagger. Waiting to see how exactly that plays out with his mid one. Back to the lasso, and with all these spells being thrown onto him, the OD really caught with his pants down.
We did talk in the draft about how their supports, they don't have the save when it comes to the bats. The OD's got to be the save. The OD is the one being initiated on. Obviously, if be able to Astro itself. So that is maybe a weakness. Mid one can't be that exposed. He's that exposed in the front lines. He's actually prime target for MVP to pick off.
Water here. Well, apparently you do. Doctor. Completely removed from the game while DJ, Mr. Chantress, 6-1 and 7 with bass drums and Dragonlance. That 4th spot.
This game
as well. These Enchantress picks, I don't know, do you switch things up in game 3 if this goes poorly and just ban Enchantress against Fnatic?
I mean, they clearly know something we don't, right? I feel like they could be banning Doom for the same thing as the Enchantress, and feel like the Doom is actually better at being that 4 position roaming support. I don't know. I think it's something with...
Can you target bans against DJ at all? Like, is that even worthwhile? Then Drax Lasso onto the mid one again, and this looks like it's going to be another nice little kill. One dies twice in quick succession. Trying to rush into that BKB.
This is actually very big for MVP. Like, I think they get a lot from these 2 pickoffs, they get a lot of space. Like, sure, they probably lose their tier 2 on the outside of the map, but the amount of gold that Spect has been amassing is very significant. I'm not sure if he's going to try and go all the way straight for that Radiance at this stage. Might feel it's necessary. But one way or another, the fact that they, you know, we were talking about Wind Ranger was top of the net worth, then it was like from the bottom, and now it's all the way back to the top again. That's just the space of 2 pickoffs that they've made.
Oh god, Ohio comes back to the floor and Duper's gonna die as well. DJ, are you gonna kill off 3 here? He's chasing down MP, the dagger is not there, the buff is not available, and MP just getting right click down. 2 more shots from Impetus is all the DJ needs. Just keep the vision. That Necro Archer, 1 more, and he's gone. Triple kill and a godlike streak for DJ. Dear lord. This Enchantress chance is single-handedly killing MVP.
It's just doing work. Games from beginning to end, and he's not just godlike, he's been in 16 kills of the 17 they've made. Ohio, by the way, has been in all 17. That's like, what a beastmaster, right? These 2 players, they're just absolutely standing out. He does manage to set up a pick-off again on net, and it's funny because it's actually the contrast. I want to say that Ohio and DJ are doing heavier lifting than the actual carries in both of these games. It's mid one and net who occasionally get picked off, who occasionally fumble. Ohio and DJ are just so on the ball, so involved all the time, and part of it is part of their plan, right? You go this Blaz on the Beastmaster, you obviously, a lot of the fights in this game, it's almost like it's been sort of 5v5 from the beginning of the game. There's very few fights that don't have sort of 6 or 7 heroes across both teams involved in them, but it's EJ who's the one who's not died at all. He's died once right at the beginning, but since that early death where he got chased out of the enemy jungle, he's 9 kills in a row, no deaths, involved, and they need to start taking the threat of DJ a bit more seriously.
So, remember how yesterday we were talking about Thoughts tanking down? One example was TNC against Fnatic, where AU's Vengeful Spirit was just putting him in these very forward positions where it was obvious he was going to get roamed onto. It feels like Fnatic did that with their core heroes. Mid one and net, they're dying, but it's kind of reasonable and acceptable deaths, right? They're acceptable losses because on the flip side, while the OD or while the Gyro is dying, they're taking tier 2 or they're taking a fight where DJ is getting a triple kill. They're getting a hell of a lot of value out of that one death of a core. And they're also not losing a lot of gold. You know, you've still got KBs on your Gyro and your OD. You've got this item progression going. While MVP, when they get picked off, when they lose, you know, a little skirmish or a team fight, they're not taking tier 2s, they're not taking towers, they're not taking Roshan, they're not getting the big trades. It's just, we kill one, then we go back to try and farm a little bit. Always kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for MVP, while Fnatic, they look for bigger and better things, and the bigger and better thing they look for right now is high ground and a tier 3.
Definitely threatening objectives more, they're definitely taking objectives more, and MVP, I agree, they're taking opportunities when they can find them, whereas Fnatic are sort of deciding these are the opportunities we want. I think that Fnatic are in a position and have been in a position where they can get the objectives even without the gyro or the OD dying. So, like, I sort of agree with you that the trade-off overall is ending up being okay for them most of the time. I think that they could represent enough threat to just force down the towers and not have to say, go gank our OD in that lane and then we'll get your tower in this lane.
they're going to try and get some value here with the Roshan take and get Aegis onto MP. Doesn't have a Sacred Relic and move into that Radiant as possibly can, so Aegis goes onto the Wind Ranger. QO a little bit too squishy, a little bit too fragile there on the Wind Ranger, only 1200 HP. Guess that's the better choice. Spectre is a little bit tankier and a little bit more survivable with the potion as well. Yes, they're looking for Ohio, but he's already moved himself back. Throw one with a Vlad. I reckon we'll see the Necro 2 Blink build. Or do you just want to go and try and consolidate this and hardcore push with Necro 3s?
I think because he went to Vlad's, he'll probably go straight to the Necro 3s. You don't want to delay them that long. Once you get to the point where the enemy heroes are farmed enough, they could actually just attack the Necros and kill them and not worry that much about the damage they take. The Necro timing becomes a little bit worse, in my opinion.
DJ, best player from Zimbabwe, confirmed. Score right now. 1-7. Needs one more kill for a Beyond Gold-like streak. He needs 1,000 more gold for an Aghanim Scepter.
The interesting thing is that they've got Focus Fire, they've got Death Ward, they have Finger of Death. They actually, MVP have quite a lot of tools that can kill Enchantress. They need to find a way to prioritize it, and the reason they're struggling is because Fnatic have this draft which says, we're all together, we have all this stuff, you have to deal with all of us. You know, there's the scary OD DPS, there's the Ogre Spam, there's the Gyro with the cooldown, the Rocket Barrage, the BKB, Beastmaster, all of his summons. Like, each of those things pose a big threat. And a lot of the time what's actually happened is it's been like, MVP kind of deal with everything except the Enchantress. Because it's so difficult to deal with, they leave it for last, but then it just forwards them at the end of the fight.
Caught net again here, but the TPs are coming through thick and fast from Fnatic. Oh no, they won't. They'll cancel. Mid one is the only one to complete, and 4F. Actually, with his blink up in 3 seconds time, the pings come out. They know the Firefly is there, but one is already far enough back that he cannot be caught by the lasso from the Batrider.
This is no objective trade at all. That's Gyro just dies. I don't think there's a way for us to describe that in a flattering way. It's going to give space for MVP.
This was a good move by MVP. One of the first ones where they go from kill into tower, and now maybe we can get some more.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With the Spectre's Radiance, I actually feel this is like... I definitely get behind this build in this situation. I feel like it's out of necessity to some extent. And it's something that helps him farm, but also...
Oh, they will go to the high ground to roll back up. He doesn't get his win run off! Aegis is gone. And Ohio dabbed down a little bit here for Death Ward mid one. BKB through it all, on which QO coming back to the land, living his astral up and kept out of the fight. MP's having difficulty sticking with the target, but it's still mid one. They're shackled up at 3-4-3. They stood up and lined it up. QO still dropping low. DJ will get hexed up, and his Beyond Gold-like streak is under threat. 4F chasing him down, but on the back end, it's MP killing off the Ogre. Well, net rejoins the fight. At long last, comes in to clear up, but TJ cannot get the third kill on the Lion. MVP. That's pretty good for them, but I feel it could have been a little bit better.
Fnatic having a moment of indecision there, that's what I feel. They astral the Wind Ranger after respawns and it seemed like they weren't completely sure if they're going to back out or keep fighting. That's how they get shackled together, and at the point they got shackled together I thought, wow, okay, AP are just going to destroy them. You're right, it maybe could have gone a bit better, maybe the Wind Ranger gets out alive, but can't afford that shackle. So what was that? The shackle, then the lasso, then the impale. Once that shackle happens, it's Fnatic know they've pretty much lost the fight. They're trying to scrape whatever they can out of it.
That's big item coming out. Still maybe. Just the MKB to deal with this wind run from Duo. Even maybe has an Ether Lens completed. 1200 gold saved up in the bank and look for a Glimmer Cape or a 4-staff or something like that to try and remove himself from fight once Enchantress starts throwing these spears out. Other MVP ants to smoke up and go aggressively looking into Radiant Jungle though, because they know that if they keep applying this pressure and keep the fight away from their T3s and away from their base, Fnatic cannot transform and convert into big objectives, and chance 3-4-3 here with the damage output of QO. It's enough. Last one back on DJ to put the enchantress. Devil is down as well, and DJ rips his red. When he heals up through him, it's not enough. Mid-one slams them down, and with his sanity clip, trying to kill off MP here. Throws it, but not quite enough. MP sprinting away. The Hungry Claw still chasing him down, but MP has the movement speed. Potentially escape from this. The Urn healing him up as well. Bringing the Spectre alive while on the back end of the fight. Mid-one, he's going 1v2. The triple kill continues flowing, and QO Shackle Shot latches back onto Mid-one, but this Necro Archer is burning through him. The Maelstrom proc. Mid-one, one's up, but look at the wind run. Oh man, this is going to be a close one. Can QO blink? He can't, because of the damage from the Astral. So back into the trees with the buff charges. Now he blinks himself away, and Spectre did survive on the back end of that as well, because Net came to try and chase him down. The Shackle, the power shot. What? Where did the Maelstrom proc come from? Regardless, QO will die to Net. I didn't even see him throw an arrow, but the Maelstrom procced.
Yeah, that's a fantastic decision by QO to turn and stop his TP. I wonder if it was even a bait in the first place, because he was never going to be able to TP out there. Being able to take down a hero with him, the best value you could possibly get there. I don't know. That's a fight that could go a lot better for MVP. Sorry, for either side, honestly. MVP get a good initiation, but Fnatic, they spent a lot of time chasing this Spectre. Not a kill. The Giant Pits chased off the Spectre ever in that fight, and I don't think that was necessary at all.
I don't really see how much gold they got back from DJ's young godlike streak, because he did die. Guessing that these graphs swing back into MVP's favor, and not much. 3k lead back to 2k. About a 4k swing from 1 point. Well, experience. Gradual decline here, now plateaus out at about 7,000 speed for MVP. Next Roshan respawning potentially relatively soon. Contest there, who goes for it?
Look at Febi's line, he's gone for his signature Vitality Booster build. Normally we have this conversation because Febi normally when MVP is about to win a game just spams Vitality Boosters, and some people think it's just to like BM. I've been wondering, like it's maybe just an efficient way to get HP. Good value for money. If he starts buying more, I'll ask that question again. But I don't know if he turns us into ATOS or anything like that, or if it's just like, again, this is like, I'm a lion, I'm not gonna get that much gold. Let me just invest what I can to become a bit more tank.
I mean, Crimson Guard isn't a bad item here, and there's no one else that's really gonna pick it up. I could see him going Crimson Guard, honestly. Against Necro units, against the Enchantress being annoying, just right clicks in general.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. There are options for it. I can definitely get behind the buy, for sure.
Want it to be Vitality boosters.
Yeah, I just want it to be multiple Vitality boosters to make the point that he doesn't only do it when they're like about to win the game. They just think it's good. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking nonsense.
You are. Fnatic seem a little bit uneasy though at this point, sitting back a touch. I'm behind mid-one's OD.
I think they know about the Vitality booster. Is that why they're
scared?
uneasy?
Yeah, of course. Like, they're sitting there thinking, oh shit, Febi's bought a Vitality booster. They've won the game. We've got to sit back and play defensively now.
Point is up. It's a threat, and that's something at this point in the game when a Spectre gets to this level of farm, you're always worried to fight when the horn's up. Unless you can start the fight on the Spectre, if they find a way to smoke onto the Spectre and begin there, that'll be really good for Fnatic.
Playing ramp for themselves as Radiant Observerboard gives Frost and Ohio. From the Febi with a good cape from Dubu, re-initiation. Shackle Shot not going to last on to anything but balls, and now the Horde comes in, and MP is actually going to spot a bomb, but the casting pass between the QO, finds speed pass on the back, so Deathwatch still taking out 3-4-3. The cooldown onto the heads of them, but over on the back end, MP killed off the OD. And now the chase continues. Net is looking for QO, but now it switches back and QO looks for Net. He blinks the wrong direction though, guesses incorrectly, the power shot not going to come through, and Net will just TP himself away. DJ. Down by Forev. MVP. Vitality booster works, Chance.
Yes, I was about to say, they chased the Lion. They chased so deep to kill the Lion, and they couldn't kill the Lion. They got baited in. OD dies. They only got him to about 500 HP, so it's not that 250 that saved him, but it's more complicated than that. You know, if you think you're going on a weak target and plans just to finish them off before going to the next target, and they just don't want to die, that can make a difference to a fight. The vitality booster gaming is it's working.
Cheese, go, go. Come on, take the cheese. Hero. A little bit worried about his progression. The what, 17-minute maelstrom? 10-minute maelstrom, whatever it was that great of a timing. Brought himself back pretty nicely. This game currently ahead of the Gyrocopter net worth and Spectre 17,000. This is what we expected from MP. Untouched in lane, farming nice himself quickly from the drums urn into Radiance, and now the Manta is looking for that heart of Tarrasque.
Yeah, and the game becomes very difficult for Fnatic now. It's also super important that Q finished the Axe. Like, I think that was maybe the biggest development in his build this game, even though he bought it only third, because of how important that is for them to make those kills, especially on heroes like Enchantress, and having the shorter cooldown like really helps ensure that they've always got it up. I don't know, like I go back to the build and the way that Fnatic played early on, you know, rushing the Vlads and Beastmaster, going for the group up timing a lot earlier. I almost feel like when you go for that build and that playstyle, you need to make more happen early on. And now it's kind of like their group up, the power that they have to group up force objectives is so reduced. I almost feel like if you go for the slightly later window with the Necro 3 rush instead of the Vlads, like maybe
this is a slow defense, and the last person jump into the lasso back 3-4-3. All down is good as Dubu laid up, and the Horn back onto this DJ Enchantress in the other end of the fight. 3-4-3 slapped down by MP. He's still got the cheese as well, but the Fnatic Eclipse tries to burn through their mana. He doesn't kill off forever in the back though, and mid one shredded by QO's Focus Fire. Spectre somehow died and didn't pop his keys. Jay. Oh, DJ, the blink forward of QO. He wants it, he gets it, he'll finish him off. So will retreat as well. I don't know if they can go forward again.
I think they roared him at a really good time. I think that the Spectre thoughts, he just waits this reality comes in after the BKBs. It'll be an easy fight, but they still had quite a lot of spells, and he gets roared, he gets, you know, the DPS is still there even without the BKBs.
QO. Might have to save his buddy here. Febby stayed around a little bit too long, cannot blink. Maybe he can in a couple of seconds. We'll pop the Ghost Scepter, but no, the damage comes out from the Necro unit. Mine couldn't escape. Back in here, Forever is ready with a blink lasso. Then Necro Warriors up on the front line, looking for it. Lasso's there, but Rocket Barrage damage back onto Forever. Not something to stop that while net. Going into them. Hero is going to lose the Aegis here with his BKB. Charge is gone. Here, they're the ones on the retreat. Does Hero blink? He cannot blink. He's roared up and he's destroyed MVP. Massively overstepped their bounds, and the Black Cannon flies across and kills off the poor little Witch Doctor in the end.
That was a truly bizarre decision by MVP. Like, I think that should be criticized, because Hero was on like 100 HP. Yes, you have an Aegis, but you're near the enemy team base. They're all respawning, and just his BKB just arrived from the courier, and I think he was thinking, I've got BKB, we can go back in. But he had no mana. He had no mana. He put an ulti.
What do you call it? A Tiga Dua Dua?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yes. Okay.
Dire's middle tower
I don't know what that means. I hope it's the alright thing to call something.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright. Well, yeah, I can't understand the decision there.
It was absolutely bizarre. And now Windranger is dead for 30 seconds, no buyback. We'll jump in, try to play aggressively before everyone's already stunned up. Goes forward, but now the Hawk, mid one's already BKB. Ned is on the front lines, but Magic Community, he just doesn't really care too much, and that's a haunt kind of wasted from MVP. They hold high ground, but there's no aggressive potential from it. This game just swung with that one false move from MVP.
I think MVP is still looking pretty good. They haven't lost any of their base as a result of that. They need to be a more on how they take the fights. The other thing that was really big in that bot fight initially when the Spectre died, is that the Windranger wasn't soaking anything. It's like, some of the heroes on Fnatic were concentrating on dealing with the Windranger. The Spectre probably doesn't die, and they actually get value out of the Aegis, so they use the Aegis while the Spectre's still alive. because the Wind Ranger was positioned actually almost outside of the fight, had pulled out. When the Spectre goes in, it's just everyone focusing the Spectre, and I think that that's something that worked really in a really big way against them. Like they've got a Wind Ranger that has a Wind Run, now has a BK. They don't have the Aegis anymore, but for the next fight they want both of the heroes to be posing a big enough threat that Fnatic have to find ways to deal with both at the same time rather than one at a time.
What's for the tier 2?
Middle tower is under attack.
Baiting with the focus fire from QO,
Radiant
it's
structures
bloody
are
easy.
fortified.
Interesting lift there, usually indicating you want to try and defend a tier 2, but it's already gone, and now you don't have glyph for high ground, you don't have glyph for tier 2 top, more importantly I feel. MVP realise this, they'll just close up
Radiant's
the tower.
top tower is under
In
attack.
just delay tactics here from Fnatic. To jump forward onto QO and they'll flick the mid one as well. The damage up into the zone, kept his leg, he goes kept alive, but they've got reveal. The finger of death back into the high, clears him up in the cooldown. Laszlo's MP alone, but that's nice for Laszlo. Mid one's cleared up, and Net, he's left alone. He is the only source of damage, but he can't sustain through it. The buybacks are available here from Fnatic. DJ chased the shackle shot ready in 2 seconds time. They want to try and catch him with a stun as well. The Hex not in range. Bebby won't be able to latch onto him. One buyback from Fnatic with Gyrocopter. MVP suddenly
Radiant's top tower is
1,000
under
gold swing with that one engagement.
But the justification for running out and dumping on them at the tier 2 rather than fighting them at your high ground. That's the thing that I find confusing. Like the high ground gives you such a big advantage positionally in terms of getting that initiation. I guess maybe the advantage they think they have the element of surprise. Like maybe if you won't expect they're gonna run out and go for them, but it just doesn't feel like the price factor helps in the match. I think mid one actually wasted some of his BKB before he even blinked in and it's easy to be dealt with. MVP, yeah, absolutely back in control of this game.
And Beastmaster and OD not buying back there, even with their ultimates available, deciding that they just give up top racks and half of mid. MVP, that swing is massive. They lost like a 4,000 sprints in net worth for the fight that happened bottom lane, and then they regain it times 3. Just absolutely skyrocket themselves like a 17,000 net worth lead. What kind of items does Lead give them though? There's a lot of gold in Lasso. Oh dear. That's Astral. Dead. Over to the side though. Trying to chase down forever. The blink away from Febby. Asking to escape from the Ignite, but Ohio, Aurora available, cannot really catch on to or chase anyone down.
You're asking what items to give them, or Febby is actually soul booster. That's what his vitality booster is, not a Crimson Guard. He's not a soul booster. I don't know if this is going to be just like his normal vitality booster, just like the stats, or does he go for Octarine Core?
Jay, that's not where you meant to be.
Yeah, the first game of the series, I feel like most of the game MVP looked less composed, Fnatic looked much more sure of themselves what they're trying to do, and the game's been the exact opposite. It's been from the OD and the Jar being picked off a lot, to this jump at the tier 2 here. And MVP themselves have made some impulsive moves, but in a sense in this game it feels a lot more to me like just sort of your classic QO, yeah guys I want to fight, and we're gonna fight, sort of, and then that's what happens. Whereas Fnatic as a team, in terms of like the overall composition, what they're trying to do, it could just be because they're up against a lineup that upscales them in the late game, and so they're just feeling under pressure, and that's why they're losing exposure. But they've started to look much less together than MVP.
And Torres, well, you're initiating the catch out a little bit there, but the goes at the back of Kuro found Ohio. Beastmaster still rolls down the Wind Ranger, and Net attempting to pummel into him, but Kuro's going to escape regardless. MP being so tanky up on the front line, he doesn't care, he runs forward, he's going to clear up mid one, but the Death Ward drop Dubu will help secure that one. Buyback available here for the OD, forced to use it, mid one jumps in, but the Astral, I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything here. Nebby steps himself away from a little bit of damage, and forced snap back by Dubu. The mega creeps though that Fnatic have to kind of deal with now. 30 to 39. Here looks like they're going to be able to take game number 2 here. Net thunder up, Astral to save him, but in they jump with the nice little pop of the Manta Star there. Mid one's gone, and Net as well. MVP will tie up the series 1-1 in its best of 5.
And I still don't think, I don't know, it feels like Fnatic just missed the window in this game. we go back to, you know, you're talking about the Najara and the OD get picked off and the rest of the team's pushing a tower. But I gotta ask the question, how much better would it be if they're killing the tower without those heroes dying? If that like allows them then to go beyond the tower and go for the next tower, go for the high ground. There was a window if Fnatic looked really good. They looked almost unstoppable with their group up. I mean, they're only like 4 or 5k ahead, something like that, but they had a really powerful